Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this stunning bow with built-in triple loops. So I've got my ribbon cut here ready for my hair bow. I've got 4 pieces here and these are 4 centimetre wide or 1.5 inch wide, and all 4 pieces are cut to 30 centimetres in length or around 11 3/4 inches in length, and that is 4 pieces. I have chosen 2 in red and 2 in black. These 2 pieces are for the bottom loops, and these are cut to 4.25 inches or 10.5 centimetres in length, and that is 2 pieces. And then I've got 2 in red, again 4 centimetres wide, 1.5 inch wide. These are cut to 9.5 centimetres in length or around 3 3/4 inches in length, 2 pieces. And then the last 2 pieces for the top loops, 1.5 inch wide or 4 centimetres wide, cut to around 3.5 inches in length or 8.5 centimetres in length, and that is the 2 pieces for the top loops. I'm going to set these ones aside for now. Taken a couple of pins, we're going to join a red and a black together and mark the centre. So I'm just going to line up the ends, fold it in half, to find the centre, and then just pop the pin in that centre mark. Like that. Same with the other 2 pieces. Folding them in half. Popping a pin in that centre. Like that. And then picking up 2 of the pieces now joined together, we're going to bring up both sides to form like this U shape. I've got the black facing towards me because that is going to be inside of the bow and the red is going to be on the outside. I'm going to bring these 2 sides up and I'm going to overlap the right side over the left. You do naturally get a little bit of overhang from the black because it's on the inside, don't worry about that. And then we're going to make sure that this is 5 centimetres across and the overlap is around 1 centimetre. So if I measure across here, this should be 5 centimetres. And then I'm just going to pop a clip on there. I've got these fabric clips, you can use a hair clip, anything that you've got at hand, or a pin to keep those together, but I find a clip easier. And then grabbing our smaller pieces of ribbon that we cut earlier, you want 1 of each, so the bigger, the medium and the smallest. Taking the biggest one first, which is the 10.5 centimetre, we're going to fold it in half and we're just going to bond these ends together. I'm just using the heat from my lighter just to make these hold together, and then we're going to line this up with our end of our ribbon here so it's even, the same amount of space on either side, so this piece is in the middle, keeping it pinched whilst I pop that clip over all of those layers so it looks like that. And then taking the red piece, which is the middle piece, again making sure you've heat sealed all the ends of your ribbon, fold it in half, just bond those 2 ends together just to hold them together. Layer that on top of that black piece that you've just put on there, or whichever colour you're using. Again, pinching that all in place whilst you remove the clip and pop it over all of those layers. So now we've got this sort of look. And with the last piece, we're not going to fold it this time, we're going to leave it as it is. Again, I'm just going to heat seal these ends. I did heat seal the ends on this piece as well, I forgot to add that. So this time we're not going to fold this in half, we're just going to lay this over the top, and just that one end, we're going to line that up as well and clip it all together. Next, we're going to bring this end up, and we're going to fold it, like we're going to completely fold it in half, like this. And we're going to line this clip up, this pin, sorry, centrally to this piece here. I'm kind of doing this by eye, but I'm just going to grab my tape measure. And this has got to be at the 2.5 centimetre mark, because this is 5 centimetres across, so this pin needs to be at 2.5 centimetres, so it's halfway. So once you've got that in place and it is halfway, again, keeping this all pinched together, pop that clip over all of those layers. And now we can fold this last piece over. So bringing that piece over, again, lining it up. And popping that clip over all of those pieces. So this is what you've got now. And now we're going to repeat those exact same steps with the other remaining pieces of ribbon. So from the largest to the smallest, repeat those exact steps. So now we've done our 2 halves of ribbon ready, and now we're ready to sew in our pinch. So I've got a needle here with some extra strong thread, and I've got a knot in the end. Taken 1/2 of my bow, making sure it is still all lined up because I am only using a clip. We're going to sew 6 stitches across this middle. We're going to start on this first outer edge just beside this corner. So our first stitch is going to go in from the top just beside this corner. So that's our first stitch. And then our second stitch is going to come up through this corner, so making sure you catch all of those layers and all of those corners here. We're going to go in for our second stitch. So it comes out there like that. And then our third stitch, 1/2 centimetre or 6 millimeters away. And then making sure they're all still in line. I'm going to keep that pinched together whilst I remove that clip, and then come back up for my 4th stitch, and then my 5th stitch, making sure again I catch all of these layers, all of the corners, and then the final stitch coming out just beside this outer edge. So it's like that from the front, 6 stitches, and like this from the back. And then I'm going to pull that tight. Oh, actually I'm going to remove the pin first. Still got my pin in there. So removing the pin, pulling that tight. And then once you've got that nice and tight, just go in through that last edge, and then before you pull that loop tight, go through the loop a couple of times, and that will form a knot and hold that first pinch in place. So that is 1/2 complete. And now we're going to do the same with the other side, keeping the thread attached, again sewing from right to left because I'm right-handed. And now when we pull these tight, that will bring both halves together and form the pinch on the other half. Again, go through that edge to hold it in place, through the loop a couple of times to form a knot, and then on the underside I'm going to bring these 2 loose edges together. So I've come out from this side, so I'm now going to go in through the opposite side to bring those together and just close in that last edge. You can sew them both separately if you want to, and then trim off the thread and then glue them together at the end, but this is how I've just always done mine. I'm just going to go through the bottom for my last stitch, through the loose loop a couple of times before I pull it tight, and that will form that knot on there. So we can then trim off our thread . And this is what we have now, this gorgeous bow shape with the triple loops built in. Now with this bow, you don't have to have a base bow because it is a lovely full bow as it is, but I'm going to add a few little tails to mine rather than making a whole base bow. So I've got 3 pieces of ribbon and I've kind of matched them to the triple layer here, so black, red, black. I've done the same here. And all 3 pieces are 1.5 inch or 4 centimetre wide, and they are cut to 9 centimetres in length or 3.5 inches in length. And I've heat sealed all of the ends with my lighter to prevent any fraying. And I'm going to line these up, one on top of the other, with around a centimetre overlap, just roughly by eye. And then again, taking my needle and thread, I'll Just need to pop a knot in the end of mine. We're going to sew 6 stitches across the end. So layering them up like this. We're going to do 4 stitches, 5, 6. So in through the first edge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's like that, and then pull it tight to form a pinch, and then just go through that end, through the loop to form a knot, and trim off the excess thread. And then I've got my hot glue gun here heating up, and I'm going to glue this onto the bottom so it comes out at an angle. So popping some hot glue on that pinch part that we just made, popping it on the bottom of my bow, coming out to an angle, like that. And then we can add our clip to the bottom now. So I have got a clip here. I've gone for a bigger clip because it's quite a big bow. This clip is a 7.5 centimetre clip, or around 3 inches. And I've got a 1 centimetre wide ribbon which I'm going to line it with. Lining your clip is optional, but that is just something I like to do. I'm going to place some glue around a couple of inches along the length of that ribbon. Starting on the underside of the clip, I'm going to start wrapping that around the clip into the pinch part, over the top, and then I can see where I need to cut that off. So about there. Again, heat seal the end, and then carry on wrapping around the clip. So go across the top with the hot glue, and I'm going to leave this bit loose to cover the centre strip after we've done it. So I'm going to now attach this to the bottom of the bow. So going right across that middle. Taking the red again to wrap around the centre. This red is actually slightly different shade of red to this one. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it don't matter because I'm going to add an embellishment to the centre, but you want to try and match your ribbon. So I'm going to start wrapping the centre of my bow now. So I'm going to place my end underneath the clip, central to the bow. And then I'm going to start wrapping my centre. On the first go around, I like to pop a little bit of glue on that join to make sure that stays covered by the centre strip. And I'm going to go around my centre twice. So we've gone round once now. This is the second go round. Trim off the excess. Heat seal that raw edge and then stick that under the clip. And now we can complete the lining of the clip and cover the centre strip. So making sure I don't get glue on my hair bow, I'm just going to place the glue on that clip, or the ribbon, sorry, that's lining the clip. and then bring that over underneath the clip, and that just gives that a nice neat finish underneath there. Even though you don't see the underneath the bow, I do like to give it a nice neat finish. Like I said, don't worry too much about this because we are going to cover it. You could use a bit of glitter around the middle if you wanted. You can put a different colour around the middle, whichever you like. But I'm going to be covering mine with an embellishment. And now I'm going to cut my tails. So starting with this bottom one, I'm going to cut diagonally and slightly rounded towards that bottom corner. Heat seal the raw edge, and then on the middle one I'm going to do it the opposite way. So I'm going to cut from this corner at an angle, slightly rounded, making sure I don't burn any other pieces of ribbon. I'm holding them out of the way whilst I heat seal that edge. And then the last piece I'm going to do the same as the bottom. So cutting down towards the bottom edge. Heat sealing the raw edge. So this is what we've got now. And now for my centre, I'm going to be using my Nutcracker handmade clay. I actually made this myself because if you haven't been watching my videos recently, I've started making my own clays. It's so much fun. If you want to check out what you need for clay making, I'll link a video in the corner here now. And I've also done a tutorial on a clay as well, my first clay. I will link that here also in the corner. So to attach my clays to my bows, I like to cut off a piece of scrap felt and hot glue this to the back of my clay because hot glue and felt works so well together. So I'm going to just pop that on the back of her. And also Gorilla Super Glue Gel. This works really well on clays. So I'm going to use a mix of this and hot glue. So taking the lid from my super glue, place the super glue on the edges where her hair is, if I can get it out. So I'm placing the super glue around the edges. Place a little bit on the felt at the top and the bottom as well. And that takes about a minute to cure once that is in contact with the bow. And then I'm going to place the hot glue in the middle on the felt. And then the hot glue will give an immediate bond whilst the super glue sets. So popping her in the centre of my bow. My hot glue gun has been a bit stringy lately and I don't know why. I think it's because I bought some different glue sticks this time. I couldn't get hold of my usual black spur glue sticks, so I bought a different make. I can't remember what they were, Sabre or something, but they've been a little bit stringy, I found. So I need to get hold of some more black spur. And there you have your finished hair bow with built-in triple loops and our little clay nutcracker doll. Isn't that gorgeous? I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to press the bell button to turn on notifications. Thank you for watching everyone. Bye bye.